Hello everyone, welcome to Service Now Mastery series. So, into our last video, we learned about the ITIL processes. We have learned about the service management. Service design, we have learned it about. We have also learned about the service strategy, and today we are going to continue our topic, that is service design. So, service catalog management. Service catalog management, what does it define? It defines the activities like the definition of the service, production and maintenance of the service catalog. So, service catalog management comes under which phase of the ITIL? It comes under service design, service catalog management, service level management, and security management, availability management, capacity, IT service continuity management, all comes under service design. We have to first design it. Service catalog management is the production and maintenance of the service catalog, single source of consistent information on all of the agreed services. Interface between service catalog and service portfolio. So, service catalog management, what will be the catalog, right? It defines the service of the catalog, and it defines the interface between the service catalog and the service portfolio. So we have also learnt about the service catalog, right, into our ITSM module. So that is the service request, like what all the request we are going to make, what all the service catalog we are going to make. So we have to first think in the service design. Next is the service level management. Service level management means SLA, service level agreement. So, service level management, it define the SLA framework, identify the service level requirement, agree and document service level agreement, negotiate and document operational level agreement and underpinning contracts. So we have also discussed, right, what is SLA, OLA and the underpinning contract. So let me just again recall it to you. So the service level agreement is the agreement between the service provider and to the customers. Next, OLA is the operational level agreement. So it is a contract between two of the service providers. For example, between service provider different teams, I would say. So for example, in your company, you are deployed into one of the project, and into that project so many applications are working on. So within two different application, what all the contract is there, it is known as the operational level agreement. Underpinning contract is, it is the agreement between the service provider and the third party vendor. So that is known as the underpinning contract. For example, if you're working into one of the MNC, and that MNC into that project is not providing that services to the customer, they are taking help from third party vendor. So that the agreement between the service provider and the third party vendor is known as the underpinning contract. Next, in the service level management, we will monitor the service performance against SLA. SLA is very important. None of your team member, none of your manager, nobody in your project wants you to breach SLA, because the whenever you breach SLA, so the heavy penalty have to be paid to the customer by the service provider. So your company has to pay the heavy penalty to the customer, because from due to the agreement you are not able to provide services to the customers on time. So SLA is very much important. Measure and improve the customer satisfaction, review and revise underpinning agreements and service scopes, develop contracts and relationships, manage complaints and compliments. So if there is any complaint, if any of the SLA get breached, so there will be the major complaint, and also the compliments as well. If you are working very good, very hard, and none of the SLA get breached by your team, so also you will get the compliments from customers that you are not breaching SLA, you are not losing SLA, and you are providing good services to the customer, so you also receive good compliments from the customer. Next is the availability management. It is like the availability, reliability, maintainability, and serviceability. Activities include in the availability management. It ensures the agreed levels of application availability is provided. It assesses impact of changes on the application availability, performance, and capacity. It provides a cost effective availability improvement that can deliver business and customer benefits, produce and maintain up to date availability plan. What will be the availability, maintainability, serviceability? It all comes under availability management. Next is the information security management. Information is available, usable when required. Systems are secured. Availability, confidentiality, integrity, authenticity, and non-repudiation. Business transactions and informational exchanges can be trusted. This comes under information security management, like what all the security we are going to provide to customer while building this application. All the things that comes under information security management. Next is the capacity management. So balancing supply against demand, balancing cost against resources needed should be involved at all the stages of the life cycle. Forward looking, regularly updated capacity plan. So the capacity management we have to first make into our mind in the service design process. In the service design phase, we have to make sure that how many team members will going to work into this application, how many developers and testers and the support persons will be there, which are going to be performing this capacity, and we have to update our capacity planner on the regular basis, or within 10 to 15 days we have to regulate the capacity plan. Next is the IT service continuity management. Backup and restore of the critical application components, conduct business impact analysis of application and identification of application priority, conduct application recoverability assessment, review the developed business contingency plan from application perspective. So in the IT service continuity management, we have to make sure that the service continuity keeps going on. It's not get disrupted in between. So we have to back up, we have to restore of our critical application components. Right? Okay, so I think this slide comes again. Yeah, next is the service transition. Next phase of the ITIL IT infrastructure library is service transition. Yeah. So service transition means service transition is concerned with the management of change, and more specifically with the introduction of the new and changed services into the live environment. So whatever the change we are going to do, or more specifically with the introduction of new change services, with the new services or with the change services into the live environment, what do we have done? Service transition, we have to do it. For example, in your project, service design we have implemented our design into the live environment. We are thinking to implement our design, or the implement the functionality of that application into the live environment. We have done it. After that, so you have to give knowledge transition, right? The KT word is very much common into MNC, into IT. right? So the KT is whenever the new person comes into your project, into your application, handling that application, so that KT is to be provided. So for that, you have to explain all the functionalities which is going to perform into that application. That is known as the service transition. Whatever the changes into the existing application or whatever the new application you are going to make, you have to make sure that the service transition is ready with you. Business value is service transition provides value to the business by enabling business change, minimize the impact to the business which might otherwise result from unmanaged change. This is very much common. It If you have the service transition or the knowledge transition with you, all the KT materials is with you, and all of the transition is with you. So what you can do, it will minimize the impact to the business. If any another, suppose for example, if any another person comes, a fresher comes into your project, and he doesn't know what this application is doing in the past or is going to do, and what the functionalities of this application, and you only told that person to okay go and work on that application. If any of the application issues comes up, then who is responsible? It will basically damage the customer trust, it will damage the business, because knowledge you have not provided, knowledge transition have not been given to that person, they didn't know about the application thing. So to minimize the impact, service transition is very much important. Enabling the business to make use of the new and the change services, ensuring that designs for the services are implemented as intended. It ensures that the service management organization is prepared to support new and the change services, reducing the number of defects introduced into the live environment. Whenever the service transition is there, so it will reduce the number of the defects into the production environment. And we have to make sure, we have to be prepared to support the new application changes, or the like existing change services. It will also contain the change types, right? We have come across so many changes word. So in the service transition, the change management is also there, the creation of the change request. So you remember that we have already gone through that change request in the ITSM module. So there are three type of the change types: normal, standard or the pre-approved, and the emergency change request. These three type of change requests comes under service transition. Okay, next is service asset and configuration. Provide the logical model of infrastructure and accurate configuration information. Control the asset. Asset and configuration also comes under service transition only. Focus on minimizing cost, enable proper change and release management, speeds incident and problem resolution. So if you have the configuration management, we have also seen that the configuration item into ITSM module, right? So the configuration management, what does it tell? It told about all the database, right? All the database that whatever the asset database, whatever the data is in the database, so it comes under service transition. Next is the change advisory board. Change advisory board is basically necessary for a normal change and for the emergency change. So the change advisory board. Next is the release and the deployment management. We also have to take care in the service transition, right? Like in the release and deployment management, we have to ensure for the clear and comprehensive release and deployment plan, define the release packages. So we have to plan when we are going to release the changes, when we are going to release the changes on the production, when we are going to deploy the changes on production, and it minimizes the unpredicted impact on production services, right? Service transition. So in today class we have in today video we have seen a service transition type, and we have seen a service transition such as the change type, a knowledge transition, and we have seen a change advisory board release and the deployment management. We have also seen what all the changes comes under service design. So basically service catalog management, service level management will also we have seen in this video. So stay tuned with me. We will